Okay, so, well, I'm gonna talk a little more. A lot of the things that are going on with Vault, if you're ever having issues, are probably because strength part isn't there or coordination part isn't there. Not necessarily their fault, but it does play a bigger part than one would think. So while we're not in basics, there's a lot of things this time with running steps, basic things on the sheet, on their skill sheet that they should be having marked off by now, and basic things to go through that will then in turn make those harder skills easier. So when it comes to, for example, when it comes to in beginner having to do a handstand and then fall to your back on the 8-incher, if you can't drive your heels over your head, you're not gonna get over onto your back. And then when you do a running straight jump off the board onto an 8-incher or two, if you can't run the right way, you're not going to be able to go fast enough to do a good enough jump off of the board to get onto the mats without having to flap through the air. And same thing with hurdles and straight jumps and proper arm circles and everything like that. That just goes back to not marking things off until they're for sure the right way. When you arm circle backwards. A lot of the kids go forward. You only circle forward really if you're ever doing harder vaults, when you get into like competitive gymnastics where they do a front handspring onto the table and then front handspring or front tuck off of the table. And even then you don't circle from the back, you just swing forward. And even when you go, for just a regular vault, like a handstand flat back or a front handspring over the table, you circle backwards and you swing forward. We never want to go onto the table. That is it's the wrong way. I know that would probably make sense, but that's going to pull them down and pike them down, and that just doesn't create enough power pulling their arms forward. Swinging them this way is a lot faster than having to swing them forward, especially if you have them go forward. It wouldn't really make much sense, per se. If you do a straight jump, a hurdle straight jump, if you go forwards, you're having to so it just doesn't really make much sense. So trying to get them to understand that it's backwards and everything moves the way you're moving. So when I teach them, especially kids that are coming from rec classes and who are on team, or kids who have never done gym before, it seems to work. Everything moves in the same direction. You're moving forward, right? So when you go forward, let me scoot back. When you go forward, and let's say they start this way, okay, they're putting everything the same direction. When your leg swings forward, your arm swings forward. Okay, if we were to go like that and do that, that's backwards. Okay, if they were coming this way, that's backwards. Okay, so if they go backwards, you can tell them that that's not the same way. Okay, so if they're ones that want to go forwards, they're moving their arms and their leg in a separate direction right now. So that's not right. So when they go to hurdle, everything moves in the same direction, this way. So when they go and they step hurdle, since that's what we're doing this time, they'll step and everything moves forwards. Okay, and then when they lean forward, everything moves forward with them. Okay, so same direction, arm, leg, jump, run, everything is the same direction. Okay? Pretty simple, but they may kick back on you a little bit. Depends on who the kid is and how long ago they learned it. So over here, they're just running over these, not 2 feet. A lot of them are gonna wanna go 1, 2, 1, 2, but you're going over it with 1 foot each when you run. And everybody's doing that. If it seems to be too easy, sorry. A lot of the kids don't pick their feet up when they run, or they run out to the side, or they run their feet too close together. Getting them to understand, the more you step forward, the more you can push off of later on. So that's what everybody's doing there. It doesn't matter who. Just because it'll be easy. And it's just to reinforce their running technique, because next time around, we will be doing some stuff where they run and jump up onto things and put their run and their hurdle together, and put their run, their hurdle, and their handstand flat back together, all that fun stuff. So making sure these next 2 times these are good to go, no problems whatsoever, will be beneficial. Here, beginner is just gonna step down. So it's straight jump off, step down off, same thing. Land in their SLP and hold it. That's something that their skills, on their skill sheet that can be marked off. Intermediate's gonna do, oh, where is it? Oh, they're gonna kick to handstand on the trapezoid. So you can either have them go this way or that way. Hands will go on the trapezoid, they'll kick up as high as they can. Again, if they can't get all the way up, that's totally fine. But seeing that they can is most important to get at least close. And then advanced will do handstand hops, nothing to do with this. This one, they're doing heel drives. I'll try and explain it a little bit so you can see. When they arch, that's what beginners are doing. So they'll lay here, and they'll just arch like normal. But then when they're in intermediate and advanced, they're gonna try and lift their bellies up off the thing. So they actually have to come down and kick and try and lift their belly off of the thing. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but I'm gonna try. So you'll come down and you'll almost kick hard enough to where it's almost like a worm. I know that looks really gross, but they'll come down and they'll lift their butt up too. That way, when they start to kick, a lot of the kids will kick, but they leave this part behind them, so they do end up going like that. You want to initiate the kick with your feet, but then lift your body with it. So you want to start that kick with your feet as hard as you can, but as soon as your feet start to go, your body has to go with it. So teaching them the difference between driving your feet over and initiating the drive with your feet and finishing with your whole body. Hopefully that gets some different shape changes going also for them. Some of them are a little archy, and I know that most of them have a good grasp on jumping to handstand, or they're too pikey. So getting them to try and understand the feet with the body at the same time is going to help a lot with that. Then on the springboard, everybody's doing butt runs. We've done these before. On the 8-incher, you're going to spot most of the time, pretty sure. Everybody's spotting. Okay, good. Beginners are going to do kick to handstand. Please fix their handstand before they go. So they should not be able to get any taller. So if they have space with ears, you should be as tall as humanly possible. Their feet should not come apart. When you pull them apart, they should not be in an S. They should not be wiggly, okay? If you are not comfortable with just letting them fall from a handstand, you're welcome to lower them onto the mat so they have to hold their shape. That would be good too. Intermediate's going to do kick to handstand, flat body fall on the 8-incher also. This one you shouldn't have to spot near as much, but still please fix their shoulders, their shape. And if they fall like a fish, please lower them down to the mat. Again, these are the basic stations that are going to lead up into the ones where next week you don't spot them and you kind of let them try by themselves. So whatever you're wanting to see, please fix it, because they don't know that unless you tell them. And then everybody's doing, oh my god, I did have everybody do the same thing. Okay, that makes so much more sense. I was like, why do I need... Okay, so they're doing that also. So again, just little things that will make their life so much easier. And getting them to understand the importance of them. And hopefully next week, after these past 2 weeks and then these 2 weeks, they understand a lot more body shaping and what's necessary in order for it to be done right, because there are kids like, well, I have done it. No, you've done it, yes, but it's not technically right. So talk to them about that. Talk to them about why you're doing certain things, what we're supposed to be doing, what it's for, what their body's supposed to look like. Tell them that you're glad that they're trying, but it's still not quite there yet. It looks better than last time, but this is what I want to see this time. Or, you did this and this, but you forgot this part. Really getting these basic skills down, because vault, I feel like we should be a little bit further with some kids than we are. And so I think last week really helped with certain things, and now adding in these actual skill parts should help also. But this next time around, they are going to be trying their run, hurdle, straight jumps, their regular straight jumps, their handstand flatbacks, their jump to handstand flatbacks, all by themselves unless they absolutely need spots. So really getting them to understand, hey, you're going to have a chance to try all of this stuff by yourself as long as this stuff's going great. So, and I think that will keep them motivated also in that sense.